And Ed?
There was, if I could
Sure.
add a little bit to that, touching on what happens in the dock, I relate a little bit about that Singapore telecom company. Well, we became business partners about 4 years into it, but what I didn't realize was that as we started off in our first early ventures, they were making these silly mistakes, not every month, but every couple of months. One time they'd be $25,000 off and let them know that, that they were making a mistake. Then it got to $250,000 until finally the third mistake was $1.something million, because this is turning on average about $18, $19 million a month of telephone traffic. Big numbers, but so I said, they're really bad at math. I can't believe that the accounting department could really be this bad. Well, I found out at Sloan Fellows Conference about 6 months later that those were all just tests, just testing to see if on things that were very obvious that they could never check, that they would never know, my integrity. And so what went on in the dock was every time that I was reporting that these were errors and they were making mistakes, I was trying not to embarrass the contact person and just would simply say, oh, I think there was an error. Let's just keep it between us, but it's, it's okay. That person was actually the person that was doing the testing, and it was right after that we ended up deciding to go into business together, and that opened up about 7-fold larger business opportunities. So it is what you do in the dock. It constantly is about, those types of situations. And there was one other one. When the entire world fell apart, went from the 97 million, there was a little thing. When you're in development, you take requisitions. So we're in the middle of, we're doing a 200,000 square foot shopping center, and my subcontractors, and actually everybody that I work with, everyone is family. I don't believe that our success is just ourselves. I think how we emanate ourselves, how we live, we just create these very large families. Integrity is at a core element of it. But one month the bank was shy a little $1-point-something million. He said, oh, we're just running late. So the tab now in construction the next month went to over another $1 million the next month. So now about $2.7 million later, the bank then informs us that the FDIC had just stepped in and they were about to close down the bank and they were not going to be able to make payments. Now, my subcontractors, they live day to day. And so they would have really got hurt. And so you just don't think about it. It's just one of those situations. When you're a developer at that level, you got cash flow. So I took a little over $1 million and then I put $1 million something against a $3.8 million house that only had $100,000 mortgage against it, and made certain that my subs got paid so they could feed their families. It basically was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back and just made it really difficult for me as I started on that road back that you heard that was the wonderful story, but in the middle there was this kind of stuff. Fast forwarding a couple years later, when everything started to really go well again, I go to do another home for myself and call all my subs in, and we just do a review of what the drawings were. And very emotionally, I have to be careful how I say this, but they all just lingered around, and they said that they're not going to do the job without following one principle. They were donating all of the work. They were donating everything, including their employees' time, and the only thing was that I just had to pay for the material. They were paying me back because they knew that I put myself in a bad position so that they could all be well. I just want to tell you that integrity, what you do in the dock, it's easy when it's easy. It's easy when you're doing a sales job selling the story, but when it's real and when it's everything that you have, those are the things that really matter. That becomes the most amazing advertising budget because everyone then comes to you because they know that you can be trusted. And really, in everything that I do, I'm in the middle right now and down in Washington, D.C. of doing a very large government job. I shouldn't be there. I'm a punky little company. Yeah, we've built 700 switch and data facilities, but it is about your relationships, it's about your integrity, and to be little and at the same time to compete against the very best in the world, you have to have something. You can have a lot of talent, but you have to have even more than that. And it's about the relationships, and it's about so many other things. But this question about integrity, I think it's core, and I'll bet that it's a thread that runs through everybody at this table. And it really is one of the core emanators of our success. Thank you.
And thanks for sharing that story. You've shared it with me privately, and you know, I was touched by it, and I'm glad you were able to share it with everybody here.